After 70 years of patience and 4 years of construction, finally, this good day has come.
So congratulations, everyone, and welcome to Sutena Trail.
Premier Jason Kenney says 2,000 jobs were created during construction, with more economic benefits to come. But for one family, there was no benefit.
I am going to speak, and you are going to listen.
Seth Cardinal, dodging horse, stepped up to the podium and says the road is built on his family's land. And in a move that left the crowd quiet, he cut off his braids and threw them on the ground.
Today is not a good day. I woke up this morning to see my mother crying when she heard the news that this road was going to be opening. The ring road is built on my family's land. I want people to understand that land doesn't always need to be developed in colonial ways.
In his response, Chief Roy Whitney says 80% of members voted in favor of the road.
We had an elder that came here today to pray, and it was to pray for the success of this ring road, and it was pray for safety, and that's what it should be. And the statement it has to be made, it should be made internally.
Hey everybody. Hey. This is really cool. I'm a big fan of the series, and I didn't know it was actually in an office, so this is very uncouth. But all right. Should we play some songs? I don't know how easily people get into this sometimes.
As always, I continue to monitor new evidence as it emerges and will adapt my advice on the school reentry plan as needed. As a parent of school-aged children, I have decided the value of in-school learning outweighs the risks for my family. That's why I'm sending my children back to school in September. But I want to be clear, there is no wrong decision about a return to in-school or online learning. Each parent is uniquely positioned to make the best decision for their family, and school authorities have worked to provide innovative options to support student learning wherever that may be. Regardless of your choice, taking precautions is our new normal for all ages, including our children. I believe together we can help our children reclaim this part of their educational and social development and minimize the risk to students and staff.
We gon' throw a party and we ain't gotta do shit. Came with your best friend, came in for the weekend. With your body. So tell me what you thinking. We gon' have a juke jam. We gon' have a juke jam. We could throw a party just listening to music like we used to do. I get close to you. I remember you used to. I remember you.
The layoffs are the result of the advice of our public health officer to close the schools. That a decision that was announced on March the 16th to close our schools to limit the spread of the coronavirus. Inevitably, that has meant that a large number of people are no longer working in the school system. And so just as people have, unfortunately, been laid off from daycares to the service industry to probably hundreds of thousands of jobs, those positions in the schools have been affected. Much like the municipalities in Alberta yesterday announced thousands of layoffs by employees affected by the public health orders, for example, library employees, recreational facility employees. So unfortunately, certain school board employees are affected in the same way. As you know, we continue to employ teachers to provide online instruction and continue to employ teaching assistants who support children in the PUF program, who are children with disabilities, children with special learning needs. So that support continues to exist for those kids, but we cannot pay to operate buses that are parked or to clean schools every day that are shut down, just as the cities can't pay to operate libraries.
We gon' throw a party and we ain't gotta do with your best friend. Came here for the weekend. Go ahead with your heart. So tell me what you thinking. We gon' have a juke jam. We gon' have a juke jam. We could throw a party. Just listening to music like we used to do. I'll get close to you. I remember you, I remember you.
Parents, kids, and teachers protesting across the province today. This for what they call an insufficient plan put forth by the UCP for the return to school, and they are chalking it up to a lack of funding.
It's a hard decision because I'm in French immersion and I want to continue that, but I'm probably not.
Chloe Patey may be taking classes from home, uncomfortable with the current return to school plan. Her sister Madeline is also on the fence.
There are some kids that just want to have their masks off and they want to have a normal year, but they can't have that during a pandemic.
But their mom, Bridget, is going back to school. The teacher will stringently be following protocols in the classroom as she has her own personal reasons for keeping the virus at bay.
I care for my mother, who's 75 and has pre-existing health conditions. I don't want her or my family being at risk.
Like I said, I'm a really big fan. I've seen some amazing artists come on here, and I'm honored to be in this space. Big fan. But yeah, I thought that, coming on here being a big deal, I wanted to try and do something new. So I've been rattling around in my mind different things that I could do, and so I decided to write a poem, and I figured I'd recite it to you guys. It's a poem I just wrote today. It's called The Other Side. Forgive me, I haven't written a poem in a long time. All right.
Fellow Albertans, we're living through some very challenging times. The results of this week's federal election come on top of 5 years of economic adversity for our province. So tonight I want to talk to you about a key part of our strategy to respond to these challenges, to grow our economy, to create good jobs, and to defend our province. A key part of that strategy will be the fiscal plan that we'll present in tomorrow's provincial budget. A budget that will be about bold action to turn our economy around. For the past few years, most Albertans have seen their incomes decline. Far too many have lost their jobs, and record numbers of businesses have gone under too. The value of our homes have gone down, while the cost of living has gone up. This time of adversity has been prolonged by bad government policies that chased away tens of billions of dollars in investment by killing pipelines, increasing red tape, and raising taxes on just about everything. Our economy still hasn't fully recovered from the downturn that started 5 years ago.
Over the past 4 years. In fact, borrowing more than all of the Alberta governments combined since we were born as a province back in 1905. On top of all of that, the storm clouds of a potential global recession are on the horizon, and we now have a federal government that has actively campaigned against our province's vital economic interests. So the challenges are real. But you know what? We're Albertans. Through our whole history, we've proven that we are a can-do province. We are resilient, hardworking, and innovative. And together we can and will overcome these challenges. But doing so will require some tough decisions. This starts with boldly pursuing policies that will bring jobs, growth, and investment back to Alberta, while getting our finances back under control to stop the reckless dive into debt. Simply put, in an uncertain world where we can't count on support from the federal government in Ottawa, we must be self-reliant. We must put our own house in order so that we're prepared for whatever the future may bring.
It's okay. I'll start over. It's okay. He's like, shut the fuck up. No more poetry. All right. I'm gonna start this over again. Also, no, there's humor in this poem. So some of the things you can laugh at unless they truly offend you. All right. Let's go. This poem is called The Other Side. I still have keys that are of no use to me. They used to, though. On the other side was a mansion on a hill, complete with LA pools and fireplaces, and a rim made specifically for people that lie about being 6 feet to dunk on. Where a piano was for decoration and an old record player was actually for the hose. I was never awakened by the twisting of a doorknob. Benzos kissed me goodnight. The bars finally stopped working. They used to, though. On the other side was a presidential suite, complete with living rooms and empty beds and a rainfall shower head fixture and the freedom to smoke big dope. And smoking fees also. And the possibility of making a beautiful girl I just met map out in her mind just how many times her apartment could fit in this room. If I could just get in, the card stopped working. They used to, though. On the other side was a family. Complete with carpet stains and big loves and it's your turns and toys all over the place. I almost fell and broke my fucking neck. And responsibility and refrigerator magnets and days on the couch and nights on the couch and lines drawn in the sand and comebacks that cross the line and a horn line from our favorite makeup song plays, and just like that, we've rehabbed a home. The barge stopped working. I still have all the keys that are of no use to me. They used to work, though. This is actually for somebody close to me that just lost somebody close to them. No more lying friends, wanting tragic ends. Though they do pretend, they won't go when I go. With sorrows to impart, we're right here from the start, and they won't go when I go. I'll go. I've longed to go so long away from
The Alberta Teachers Association estimates that around 6,000 substitute teachers and up to 20,000 support staff, including educational assistants, will be affected. Currently, teachers are holding classes online across the province, and they have support staff to help them. But that could soon change.
Teachers are now teaching in a way that they've never had to teach before. This is the time where we actually need the support of everybody in the system.
The Teachers Association says educators under contract will still be paid, but they're disappointed by the decision. President Jason Schilling says EAs were helping deliver resources to students with inadequate technology, and they're concerned about how students with special needs will be supported.
No one should be penalized for schooling because of COVID-19, and by taking away supports for students to be successful, it seems like that they're being penalized for something that they have no control over, especially students who have special needs.
The Calgary Catholic School District says they'll have to make some tough decisions this week, but they hope all laid-off staff will return when schools can reopen their doors to students.
We were surprised, but it's not unexpected in that we know that we're in unprecedented times and we're dealing with COVID-19, and to redirect money into the healthcare system to care for those individuals impacted makes a lot of sense.
In the coming weeks, schools will have to decide which staff members are essential, and plan for situations like teachers getting sick. In the meantime, the province hopes those affected can turn to the federal government's enhanced DI, as well as other programs being put in place to help the thousands of Canadians laid off as a result of the pandemic. Cami Kepke, Global News.
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message and it comes from the heart. Oh, believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. You can learn to work and play and get along with each other. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey,
Hey, DW! Hey! Whoa!
It could be every day, every day. It could be, oh, it could be wonderful, wonderful, every day. It could be wonderful every day, every day. It could be every day. Every day, every day, every day. Oh, wonderful, every day could be so wonderful. It could be every day when you're walking down the street. Wonderful. Everybody that you meet has an original point of view. Every day, it could be wonderful. Every day. And I say, hey, every day, hey. Every day, wonderful, wonderful. It could be so wonderful. It could be wonderful, wonderful.
When I had finally gotten into a GSA, I was out. But had I not been out, it would have been incredibly important for my parents to not know, because it takes a lot of time for a kid to come to terms with it themselves, and you can't expect a kid to come out to their parents when they can't even accept themselves yet.
There are GSAs across the country giving high school students a safe place to meet with peers and talk about sexuality. The United Conservative Party says it supports that aim, but it wants to give teachers the right to inform parents that their child is in a club if the teacher feels it's necessary. The previous NDP government amended the law to forbid disclosure, arguing it could put kids at risk if their parents object to homosexuality.
It's a walkout that spanned a province. Students showing their concern that gay students could be forced out of the closet.
And it should also be entirely up to this person, the individual themselves, of when they want to come out, because it's definitely a very personal and beautiful moment that should be dictated by the student themselves and not the government.
The organizer of this protest says Alberta's new premier needs to listen.
And your message for Jason Kenney?
Message for Jason Kenney is, please don't go through with this policy.
But Jason Kenney isn't changing his mind, and he has a message of his own for the students.
I'd suggest better for them to do rallies or protests after school hours and not during them. We want to make sure young people are actually learning in class instead of doing politics.
In Edmonton, thousands of kids ignored that advice. They were joined by the former NDP education minister who enacted the ban on parental disclosure.
This idea of outing gay kids is unacceptable, not just in the court of public opinion, but it's definitely the wrong thing to do.
In Calgary, the protesters were cheered on by some who came out long before GSAs were a thing.
Just seeing this unity, these amazing kids making a difference, it's amazing.
And also inspiring. Today, while justifying her role in organizing this protest, DeLong came out to her classmates as bisexual.
Well, I just sent a message to the walkout group chat and kind of told everyone that way. And I never actually told my parents themselves, so I guess they're going to find out on the news.
Till I'm done growing up. And when I'm going down, I'ma go down swinging. My heart still smiling and my heart still singing.